Hi there, and welcome to this episode of The Dish with Danielle. Today, I am here at the First Church in Marlborough with Pastor Kaz, and we are going to whip up a pineapple cake for you folks at home. It's going to be really easy. We're probably going to be a little bit chaotic. This is our first episode where we're actually in the kitchen and cooking. We're following the lead of Pastor Kaz here.
So we are going to be...
So it's going to be a little chaotic, but that's what makes it fun, right? So we're going to whip up this pineapple cake.
Yes.
And then a little bit later in another segment, Pastor Kaz and I are going to sit down and chat about what the church is doing and how they're being active in the community and what they're doing to help out the world on a bigger scale.
Indeed.
All right, so let's start it up. This is Pastor Kaz's very easy pineapple cake. What did you say? It's so easy, even you can make it?
Exactly. It is so easy that I can make it. And those of you who know me know that my big inspiration behind the counter is the Swedish chef from Muppet Show. And the original idea was to do the chocolate mousse recipe. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch that video. But I was told on very strong terms from the church trustees that I'm not allowed to bring a real mousse and then apply chocolate onto it. So no chocolate mousse today.
Yeah, that would be bad.
So we are entertaining.
All right. So we have some of our ingredients out here ready to go. We are using what I like to call supermarket shortcuts, but we'll have our little ways to zhuzh things up here and there, and we'll give you some of our magical baking tips because I actually do bake quite a bit at home. So I'm sure in another episode we'll do maybe some lemon squares or some strawberry cupcakes with chocolate frosting or something. But today we're working on pineapple cake, which is why I'm wearing my fancy dancy pineapple earring.
Very nice.
For people at home. And
you didn't bring me any.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to take away the attention from your fantastic apron.
Thank you. This is from Arkansas. I have it from a friend who comes from Arkansas. Apparently it is a saying down there.
Okay. All right. Well, we didn't want to take away by giving you earrings too. So we wanted to highlight the apron. And we will, maybe in the future, have the Dish with Danielle merch coming soon to a website near you. But we're still workshopping that. So stay tuned. All right. Take it away, Kaz. What are we going to do here?
All right. So kids, do this at home. Totally. This is so easy. I can make it. So first we need a super moist cake mix. It can be vanilla. It can be pineapple. I mean, honestly, it can be anything you want. The idea is just to make cakes so you can have tea.
Funfetti?
Pardon?
Funfetti?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that would be fun.
The idea behind cake is really to have it with tea. And then when you have it with tea, you sit, you talk, no big whoop. Right. All right. So you take one of these and you dump it all in.
Oh, Swedish chef sound effects.
See? Oh, it's happening. Thank you. It is an inspiration.
All right.
All right. Then I took a vanilla pudding.
Is this instant pudding?
Instant. It is. I think it is instant. Yes, instant pudding. It is
instant vanilla pudding. We could put some pineapple pudding. Do they have pineapple pudding? Is that?
I know, but I didn't want to overwhelm you. They're very subdued.
All right. Okay. Got it.
Very plain.
Yes, subdued.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes. Very plain people.
I don't know that anyone's buying what you're selling when it comes to you being subdued.
Congregationals and Presbyterians, very plain people.
Okay.
All right. So then we put it in, and then we have. It's called crushed pineapple.
How many ounces in that can?
Just a can.
Let me see. 20-ounce can, guys. 20-ounce can of crushed pineapple. Well, we have to help them if they want to make the cake.
I mean, yes. I mean, it's an art. Remember, so basically the moisture you wanted, the more you're going to dump. So then you dump it here. Oh, this is very lovely. And then comes the best part. Because eggs are such an expensive commodity, or people could be allergic. Whichever is your way, or you just don't like breaking eggs.
Because if we're making it this way, technically vegan.
So we are actually using store-brand seltzer. Store-brand seltzer, and you will need 1 cup.
It's in the bowl there.
It's in that bowl there. Mm-hmm. That was
pre-measured.
Yeah, she kind of jumped the queue. It's much more fun when you dump it and it explodes all over. All right, here we go.
I don't think that's fun. I mean, we are wearing aprons, but I almost wore a white shirt, and then I changed my mind at the last minute. Seemed like it would have been a big mistake.
All right, and so now you have to mix it.
But we want to put in, my little tip, we want to put in a little pinch of salt. It brings out the flavor and everything. If you have kosher salt available, it's a little bit of a coarser grind, but I think the salt actually brings out the sweetness in baking. I always throw an extra pinch of salt in my baking. And when they say to bake, usually when you would bake with unsalted butter, I use salted butter. So that's my little tip. But get in there and mix her up. Well, yeah.
This is just like church. They make me work. You know, I thought I became a pastor not to work. I need to work every Sunday, by the way. Every Sunday I have to work.
Oh, come on. Aren't you going on vacation like tomorrow?
Not helpful. I'm trying to drum up, sympathy support. So the idea is you have to mix it.
Incorporate all the ingredients just until the dry is combined with the wet, because you don't want to overmix, because that's how you get tough cake. We don't want tough cake.
We don't?
No.
Okay.
We
don't. We definitely don't.
No, we don't want it to be rubbery.
Exactly.
And that's what happens if you
very
overmix it.
ladylike. Again, kids, you can't do this at home.
Now, one question I forgot to ask you before we started, we set the oven to, I'm assuming,
375.
375. Okay.
We have set it to 375. And again, it feeds a lot of people. A lot. And,
yeah, because you can tell it's dense, so you probably only need a small piece, right?
Yeah. Now,
also, I forgot to ask you before we started this, were we meant to grease that tin that we're about to bake this cake
we
in?
were. We were. Mm-hmm.
We can.
Or you can, so you will have, so when I first came to America, I discovered there's something like the
Pan spray.
Pan spray.
Yeah.
It does not exist in Europe. But
Interesting.
so you can also sometimes take, what I do is I dip a paper towel with oil and just kind of.
Okay. Or you can just hit it with a stick of butter too.
Exactly.
Like just run around with the butter. You want me to do
We're
that?
very Paula Deen, aren't we? Stick of butter.
I mean, she would use 4 sticks.
I know. Like, all we need is a stick of butter.
She did say butter makes it better.
Always.
Not wrong.
Exactly.
Not wrong.
And if ever in doubt, always add a stick of butter. That was the cheese.
My chocolate frosting that I make calls for 3 pounds of butter. Not 3 sticks. 3 pounds. It's an Ina Garten recipe.
So now, as you see, because I've done it so many times, like
Oh, yeah.
3.
Can we?
So now, as you see, it's so the seltzer water and both the pineapple not only gives it taste, but it also kind of gives it the moisture,
It
the
smells
texture that we need.
fantastic.
It does. It does
Gives
smell
off a
like
very
pineapple.
nice pineapple aroma. I feel almost like I'm on vacation.
How do order, like pineapple margaritas? Never mind. Just
You
a
could
thought, just a thought.
you could put a little bit of Malibu coconut rum in that. It would be
Yes,
delicious.
but it's a church and we've been dry since 1840,
Yeah,
so
but
we're
it
not going to do that.
bakes out.
Wink. We're not going to do that. All right.
All right.
All
So
right.
we didn't grease the tin. Should we grease the tin?
I think we should.
Okay, hold on.
I have oil.
Okay.
I
I
have
was going
oil.
to get butter, but we'll use your method.
Well,
Yeah,
do you-
because you don't
I
want
mean-
the cake to get stuck.
And do you have oil?
I have.
And then do you
there's
have butter?
There's butter in the fridge.
Like, well, I don't know. It's a church fridge. Like, I know there's cookies always in the church.
Yeah, there were
fridge.
cookies. I
Oh,
looked.
Oh,
I was talking about maybe whipping up a quick
They
cream
might
cheese
not last.
frosting.
We've just finished a long period of Lent. They might not have. All right, excuse me.
That's a good method. I've never seen that method.
Really?
Quite enjoy it.
Yeah, I know. It's simple. It's also, for a cook like me who always forgets stuff. Every time I go, I'm like, buy this for cooking pan thing. All right, so now, would you like to hold this? Oh, exactly. So now we just have to
Scoop, scoop, scoop.
kind of scoop it.
Oh, it smells so good. The vanilla cake mix and the vanilla pudding combined with the pineapple.
Trust me, I'm a professional.
It smells so good. And we're using my Nana's
Yes, and we should give
vintage
it,
dishes,
you
which makes everything taste better somehow.
as a gay aficionado of China, yes, please, absolutely, this is
I
lovely.
mean, it's not as fancy as your china that we're going to be using the tea,
wow.
but
But it's very nice. It actually matches.
I'm going to put it right in the sink.
Great minds think alike.
Well, my kitchen is green at home
Really? Mm-hmm.
and gray counters and cabinets.
Right. So
Okay, this doesn't have to be perfect, right? Do you want to, there you go.
well, the scripture does say be perfect because the Lord your God is perfect, but that never happens with cooking. So
Okay. Well, especially with us and our
Oh,
we are chef mentality.
thank you. So then once you have it like this, you put it into the oven for 35 minutes.
At 375.
375, 35 minutes. It's very easy.
And by the magic of television,
Oh, now
What
what is
have
going to
we
happen
here?
next? Tum, ta-dum, tum, tum.
et voila!
Et voila. Indeed.
Magic of television. That one's going to cook. So, guys, if you want, come down to the first church and get some leftover cake because it'll still be here. Because
Also,
we're gonna have
magical
so much
cooking.
cake.
Magic happens here every Sunday.
Now, we've been talking about what you can do to frost this. Maybe like
Yes.
some Cool Whip. I think a cream cheese frosting would be delicious on
Yep.
here.
Yeah.
You have some chocolate frosting
We
there.
have chocolate frosting. We have sprinkles.
We have fun sprinkles. They're pink. We've got some rainbow.
Cherry pink. You
But
cannot go wrong
This
with
I brought the yellow because yellow said pineapple to me. But
Well,
we don't, since we don't really have a frost. Are you going to put the chocolate frosting on the pineapple?
Do you want some with the pineapple?
I think I'd probably go sans frosting, but maybe we could frost half of it.
We could.
And
Absolutely.
then
All
you
right.
could have Do you have you need another spatula there?
Yes, I do
Small.
another spatula. Excuse me, folks. I will be right back.
I looked for my Dolly Parton spatula when I was packing up to come here today, but I couldn't find it. I was so sad.
And I'm going to quote scripture in a minute. You will not see me, and then you'll see me. There you go. So I think that's a little big, right?
Yeah. Maybe a butter knife.
1 second.
We'll be right back. Stay tuned for these messages from our sponsor.
And here we go.
There we go.
And there was much rejoicing. All right. So what we're going to do, okay, this is it was a little colder than I thought it was. I kept it in the fridge.
All right. So maybe the frosting isn't going to work out that great.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Cool Whip is much better.
Cool Whip would be really good. And then you could sprinkle more crushed pineapple on it.
Yes. So if you, unless you want to, you don't want to
Or
do
like some
pineapple
toasted
overdrive.
coconut.
Or if you want to do like a little bit, strawberries or raspberries.
Oh, that sounds good too. With some Cool Whip.
Exactly.
Oh, that sounds good. All right.
Right.
That's how you should do it at home when you're more organized than the Swedish chef and I. The Swedish
We are,
Polish chef.
listen, this was predestined. This was
The
supposed to happen.
Swedish Polish
Absolutely.
chef.
Absolutely.
All right. So we're going to cut ourselves a little slice here. We're going to get into this cake.
Okay.
And
I
cut
do have.
ourselves a slice. And then we're going to...
All right. Give me 1 second.
Oh, all right. Pardon.
A lady's always prepared.
We have a cake baker here.
All right. Here we go.
Yum.
Well, let's see if it's edible. Okay. Oh, you know what? Why don't you cut it?
Yeah, let's use the
and
knife.
I will bring in the plates.
That sounds like a great idea. Okay. Yeah. We need a serrated edge here.
Yeah.
Hold on.
At this point, it's just enjoying the cake.
We called it dumb cake, and so they say the first pancake never comes out as pretty. So the first piece of cake is just needs a little bit of
Thank
work.
you. Yes, exactly.
Here, now use that thing.
Yeah. Now.
Now use the server.
Hope so.
There you go. Perfect.
Oh, and there was much rejoicing.
And there was
right.
much rejoicing. Do you guys want some cake? We'll bring you over a slice.
You're gonna have some cake, so help me.
Yeah, because you can't eat this cake all weekend.
Why not?
Well, I suppose you could. You know what? You could toast it and you could eat it for breakfast.
I know. All right. Guys, would you like to be our guinea pigs and try?
I think we have to try it for the right.
Okay.
Come on, you said it was delicious.
Of course it is. I baked
A
it.
cake so easy, even Kaz can bake it.
Exactly. What could
And-
possibly go wrong?
I mean, let's see.
People at First Church are right now praying.
Nobody's
probably.
allergic to pineapple here, right?
No, I'm not.
That's a thing. I had a girlfriend who was allergic to pineapple. Cheers.
Never discourage you with dessert.
Delightful.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
Moist,
Mr. Sheffield, stop. Don't stop.
flavorful.
Uh-huh.
Definitely is going to go good with that tea you're going to brew me up in a minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Should we move forward to the tea?
I think we should
Because
move forward to
you
the
already
tea.
finished your whole cake. You didn't save any for the tea. Well, we got more.
Please. It's like,
All right.
it actually is quite good.
It is. I think my dad would really like that because my mom
I'm
always
quite
makes the
surprised.
thing with the pineapple with the lady fingers on the outside.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's a lot of work, and she might be able to.
It is with the lady fingers. It
instead.
is. This is the same one. If you do, for example, with raspberries or with strawberries, it's called chocolat mousse.
Oh,
But that's a lot of work.
yeah, that's fancy French
Yeah.
baking. We're not fancy.
No. So that my mom, I would wait for my mom to do that.
Oh, all
because,
right.
I'm a loving
She would
son
take
and I
all day.
appreciate her cooking. Yeah.
All right, so should we take a quick break while we reset for our tea service here? We'll move all of our dirty dishes and the things that we've left out, and then we'll
Exactly.
have a nice chat about what the church is up to and
Absolutely.
some of the work that you have coming up and some of the events.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. We are back for our next segment of The Dish with Danielle. Again, I'm here with Pastor Kaz at the First Church Congregational in Marlborough. And we have baked our delicious pineapple cake. We may or may not have already each had a slice, but we've cut ourselves another slice here. And Pastor Kaz has a passion for fine china and tea. So tell me about the tea you're brewing us here and maybe a little bit about your china and some of your other parts of your collection?
So let's begin with the tea. So the idea is with tea is when you have a very potent dessert, that the tea should not be very potent. And again, so if the dessert is very sweet, don't have a sweet tea. In the afternoon, you tend to drink more Earl Grey. Remember, never with lemon, always with milk. And there are two different ways, whether you first pour in the milk and then so the china doesn't stay. But the other option is you first pour in the tea. And normally in the old days, you would actually have like a place where you would put the tea leaves and only run hot water through it and then add milk to the end. That's how I tended to do it.
Okay.
We're going to have a little bit stronger tea simply because, it's a lovely day. But and this is a set. So I got hooked on china because my great-grandmother allegedly got us, and we still have that set.
Oh, wow.
In Poland, one from Meissen. We now know it's not from Meissen, but it survived at least one world war. It survived the Warsaw Rising, and unfortunately, it's a small coffee demi-tasse because in my family there's a tradition that the newlyweds come the day after the wedding for the breakfast. And
I love that.
Yeah, I know. I still haven't drunk from that tea set because my mom is like, and I tried to, I said, Mom, being ordained is almost like getting married. And my mom's like, nice try.
Yeah, but she knows how chaotic you are. She's trying to protect the china.
That got trick. That got real deep.
Well, you're the one who started with that.
It
So
is.
let's talk about how long have you been here you came here from Poland, correct?
No, so I came from the Netherlands.
Okay.
So I came here to the United States in 2007.
Okay.
I first came to divinity school. I went to Yale Divinity School. I
Fancy.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. It was a great school. I loved my time there. Very good school, and then I started looking for a congregation who would call me, and I had several interviews, and oddly enough, Marlborough decided to call me.
Well, I think we're grateful to have you here. I know
I'm
I
very
am.
grateful.
And just some of your work in the community. I actually had the opportunity to visit Poland last year.
Yeah.
With some of my colleagues at the State House, and actually some of those colleagues are back there right now, and we visited the Warsaw Rising Museum.
Yeah.
And, it was really interesting, and given that where we are on a world stage right now,
Yeah.
to be in Poland, a lot of Polish families on the border with Ukraine are taking in Ukrainian refugee families. And, obviously at the brink of, we visited, unfortunately, a concentration camp, and it's just really, given what's happening in our world right now, it's always interesting to have those things top of mind when you go about your daily business here, eating pineapple cake and drinking fancy tea. But we have to keep in mind that, we live in a very global community and there's a lot going on. So you and I, before we started filming today, we're talking about an event that the church has coming up in June to raise funds for something that's happening far, far away from us here in Marlborough. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so the idea is we want to, on June 22nd, we are going to have not high tea, but formal tea. So we're going to serve it on nice china with some cakes. I might even serve this cake. And we're raising money for 2 hospitals, and we really want this to be apolitical. Number one is there's an Anglican hospital in Gaza. In North Gaza. It's the one that's been bombed twice. It's the one that is not connected to Hamas in any way, shape, or form. But it's a small hospital that's still operating. It's still running. And it's the only one in North Gaza that's still running. So we would like to raise money for them. And the other one is St. John's Eye Hospital in Jerusalem. It's run by the St. John's Order. And they give eye surgery to a lot of eye diseases that we have eliminated because we have eye care here in the United States. But in poor countries, it doesn't happen. And they serve, just like in Gaza, they serve everybody regardless of religion or ethnic, your ethnic ancestry. And they do it for free.
Wow.
So, and the hospital's been there for over 100 years, the one in Jerusalem, in Gaza a little bit longer. So we just want to help. We want it to be this as apolitical as possible, but we figure that people in a war zone like that should have ability to access basic medical care.
Absolutely. So tell everybody again at home, June 22nd, what time?
June 22nd, 3 p.m. here at the church. Come, and who knows, if I'm in the mood, I might even make Charlotte Russe cake.
Oh,
but there's going to be great
I'll do
tea.
some baking for you too.
Yes, please.
I'm happy to.
So we'll have tea. We'll have different types of tea. Because I love different types of tea.
Okay.
And
I'll bring some
and cake.
sparkling cider.
Yes. And again, we hope to, we really want this to be apolitical. We just want this to be an outreach.
I think healthcare in underserved areas should be apolitical, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're just trying to help people, and I think it's great. Now what kind of tea did you tell me I've got here now?
So this one is just a regular English
so
black
dainty.
tea. You know?
I'm such a lady. Even this tea set is very dainty.
Thank you. So
Still
always,
a little hot, eh?
it is very, yes. And always remember that the first cup is always a little lighter. So that's also an idea. The first cup is supposed to kind of clean your palate, and then you're supposed to enjoy the tea more and more and more.
All right. I'm going to let it cool off a little bit more. It's a little hot for me.
You know what's a great way of cooling it off?
Having a bite of cake.
Yeah,
All right, let's have a bite of cake.
and remember, if you eat with clergy, it's 50% calories
And
less.
we are standing, so as I discussed the science in that also, we're basically burning calories as we eat this cake.
And standing in church, so we're like double burning calories.
It's crazy.
I know.
We're going to lose
But
weight.
it's true. I read it somewhere on Facebook, so it
Must be true if you read it somewhere on Facebook. Now, you also told me that recently you had some of your youth members here at the church participating in a community event. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes, so we have a bunch of 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds, which I lovingly call the unicorns, because you know how many of them show up in church, but I was told I cannot refer to them as that, so I am not referring to you as
Your
unicorns.
church board has a lot of rules. It's almost like they didn't know who they were dealing with.
No, they're just very lovely. I was just told that there's like a whole other thing. But anyway,
okay.
So
I didn't know that
they
either.
cooked, and they cooked a meal, they shopped, they cooked, and then they served a meal at our Father's table. So our church does that on a regular basis. But this group wanted to do something, and after we went bowling and axe throwing, and there are pictures to prove,
10-pin, right? None of this candle pin nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely.
wait,
So they went
Did you use the bumpers?
Pardon?
Did you use the bumpers?
No.
I'm proud. I'm proud. I went last year for my birthday, and my girlfriend was using not only the bumpers, but she also had the child's thing that you put the ball on and then just push it off.
Oh no,
It's cheating.
No, they were very good. They were scary good at both bowling and axe throwing. So and then they decided
Supporting local business, which we appreciate.
absolutely, you know. So and now the group that also, so once a month we go to Worcester. Another group, I call them the Whamsers. They work with Worcester Area Missionary Society, and we basically give out diapers to people in need. They tend to be people who have arrived in America quite recently. We give out anything between 500 and 600 diapers.
Wow.
Per day.
That's amazing, because diapers are very expensive.
So
Recently, the Marlborough Democratic City Committee we have a quarterly food drive. And we just had one a couple of weeks ago, and one of the things on the list for the Marlborough Food Pantry was diapers. It's a lot of diapers and a lot of feminine hygiene products.
Yeah, that's what we did last year.
And I went to buy diapers, and I usually donate, a certain amount of money. And in my budget that day, I was able to buy 3 boxes of diapers. I was like, how do people do this? Yeah. So 500 diapers, that's...
Yeah, so a lot of them are donated. And then, there's also hygiene kits. So anyway, so there's that group. So we go monthly there as well. And that group also was a little bit jealous of the 20s and 30s. And so that group is also going to go and do axe throwing.
Oh, all right.
So we will be known as the axe throwing church.
Okay.
I have a feeling. But I was very happy that they went and served our Father's table. And because, it just shows you that, even a community like Marlborough is quite diverse in terms of income, in terms of life stories. Right? If you sit down and talk to them, sometimes you get a little piece of their life story.
Right. You have, new immigrants that are coming here almost literally every day. And then you have people like me. I'm a 5th generation family here in the city of Marlborough. So,
and I'm a citizen
I think
for
that's
5
what
years.
makes us great. And we definitely have, and it's also fantastic to me that you're getting your congregation involved and helping out. They don't just come and worship. They're out, putting their money where their mouth is and doing the Lord's work.
No, they are. And, there's other programs. There's one for Christmas. There's one Katie Mahoney backpack, when we kind of put together backpacks for the kids in the Marlborough school system that need them. That there's the Stars and Angel program for Christmas. But yet, we're trying to really say that, faith is both worship that leads to action. So it's not either or, but it is faith that leads to action. And I'm glad that people are finding and even despite me organizing it, that people are finding it helpful.
No, I think it's great. And I actually do want to talk a little bit more about you. I know you have a hashtag that you use when you post on social media, hashtag #dorkpastor. So can you tell us a little bit about what made you go that direction and how we can get people to follow you on social media and follow your hashtag and make you trend or whatever it is that happens on the interweb of things?
So I have an open Facebook profile and I do use hashtag #dorkpastor. It's just, I remember when I was studying, when I began here, people have been nothing but very supportive. I keep on joking, imagine what came before me if I'm normal. And one person said when I was talking, I was like, oh, I got the 17th century prayer book and I'm looking at the margin notes and they're so interesting. They're like, you are such a dorky pastor. So it's like, oh, so let's stick with that. So I've been dork pastor ever since.
I think everybody has a little bit of dork in them about something. I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some tea and
Oh, yeah.
cake.
I'm probably cooled off a little bit more now, eh? Mm-hmm. Well, me, with my Canadian.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very light and palate cleansing, to your point.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy it, but I do feel like I'm going to break this.
No, you're not.
Which is funny because
No, you're not.
I have pretty small
You are
hands.
not going to break it.
No, I have pretty small hands, but I feel like a giant when I'm holding this.
Any of you have seen...
Also because I'm holding it with my left hand.
Oh, yeah.
That's never...
really?
I should use my right hand. It's safer that way.
But if you ever watch... Did you ever watch the British comedy series Keeping Up Appearances?
No.
So there's this woman, Hyacinth, total snob, and she always invites her neighbor, Elizabeth, for tea, and Elizabeth always shakes and she always breaks something. Like, you will not. Would you like a beaker?
Yeah, I'm very clumsy, so I should probably take it easy with this. I walked into the
you're
table in my office yesterday and I have a giant bruise on my knee.
Oh, really?
Just walked right into a table. It was just there. I don't know.
I did to fall out
I
of
went,
bed.
ow, and my steps. Like, what did you do now?
I did to fall out of bed in the morning. I'm like, oh my God, I need to get up. Yeah.
Maybe you should get a bed that's lower to the ground.
That has crossed my mind.
Yeah.
But
Some
that
of
would
them are
involve
very
all
high
kind of
now.
stuff.
We're not so planner. All right. Well, thank you for having us today, Kaz. And
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for showing us some of your supermarket shortcuts and some of your baking skills and your beautiful tea sets.
Thank you.
And
Yep.
we'll have to do it again soon sometime.
Yes, and please remember, do come on if
tell
you're
us
not
about Sunday
religious.
service.
The Sunday service is at 10, but if you also want to come and support us, June 22nd,
At 3.
3 o'clock in here, formal tea.
And if you can't attend, I'm sure they'd be happy to take some cash off your hands. So
Oh, the church always takes
we'll be
cash off your
we'll
hands.
be
We are
making a
more than
donation
happy.
as well to
Absolutely.
support such a great cause. Thank you for everything you do for our community and
Thank you.
for being uniquely you and and bringing a little bit of life to prayer and the Lord, because I think we can all use it, especially with some of the stuff we're facing on a daily basis. So that's it for this episode of The Dish with Danielle. Tune in next time for our culinary adventures and we'll see where we go. Have a great day.